You're listening to Your Purpose and Business podcast, where we connect you to possibilities. I'm your host, Raquel Walters, a two-time best-selling author, millennial speaker, corporate trainer, advocate, and clinical social worker at heart. Your Purpose and Business podcast will connect you with everyday successful people who will share their impactful stories, insights, challenges, failures, and triumphs on how they're navigating the working world, whether by climbing the 9-to-5 corporate ladder or starting, growing, and scaling their business. So grab your pen and notebook because you'll want to implement the nuggets and tools, strategies shared in every episode. Class is in session. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Your Purpose and Business podcast. And I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Shanna B. Van Ness. So Dr. Shanna B. Van Ness, known as Dr. Shanna, is a certified business executive and a life coach. Also known as the Committed Action Queen, she specializes in personal growth, relationship, career, business, and executive coaching. She maintains a private practice in Atlanta, Georgia, and Brooklyn, New York. As a private practitioner, she works with a broad spectrum of clients. And in addition to being a professional coach, she also presented nationally to general audiences, speaking on the topics of leadership success, the art of mastering relationships, organizational strategy, and many other areas. She has also been featured on various podcasts, dropping jewels are right on time for those that listen in. She is a collaborative, solution-focused, results-oriented coach. And through this approach, she provides support and practical feedback to help clients effectively address personal life changes that will resolve into extraordinary results. She also integrates coaching techniques and helpful assignments to offer a highly personalized program tailored to meet specific client needs. With compassion and understanding, she works with her clients to help build on your strengths and attain the personal growth they seek by living life in committed action. Dr. Shanna, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so, Dr. Shanna, I asked all my guests to tell me something about yourself that's not included in this beautiful bio of yours.
Oh, wow. Something that's not included, maybe personal about me. Well, I am a vegetarian, right? And even personally, I have 4 children. People don't always believe that I have 4 children.
Wow, you look amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And my oldest is 25, then 22, 13, and 3. So no one ever really believes me when I say that. But yeah.
Nice.
So not only am I balancing business and work, family, husband, everything. So yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. And so, Dr. Shanna, what would you say is your purpose? Because you are on a Your Purpose and Business podcast, and even though I know you master a lot of things and you do many things, right? What is your purpose? How would you define that for yourself?
So I would define my purpose as being a servant leader, right? I am clear that I am a leader, but I'm also clear that in the role as a leader, I also get to serve. And one way I get to serve is in that capacity as being a coach, right? And I looked at my own gifts and talents and just who I have been throughout my life, right? My husband and I joke about this every day, right? He's like, you keep talking. And I'm like, yes, I keep talking, but I listen. And not only do I listen, I'm thinking, right? So I would define my passion is to be in support of others and be in support of others' success and using my voice and my ability to listen to support others.
Yes, nice. I love that. And so, Dr. Shanna, tell us, when did you realize that you wanted to become, a life coach, a certified business, an executive, a consultant? When did that seed got planted, if that makes sense, in your brain?
Yeah, so I would say I was always that friend or that go-to person that people would just come and talk to and ask questions, right? And one thing I can say is I never invoked my own opinion, right? But I asked those thought-provoking critical questions that really drew out solutions for individuals. So I would just say, just naturally, I was always that person that people felt comfortable with sharing themselves with. Then I would say back in 2015, I was supporting another friend who was ready to leap into entrepreneurship and supported her through that entire process. And after doing that, she said, wow, you should just be like a coach. Like you help me balance the life things while trying to launch a business. And like both of them for me go hand in hand, right? Because we're all individuals. If we have things in life where we're stuck, then that's going to translate and transfer over into our business vision. So a lot of the life coaching and business coaching came together, like just really gelled together really well. And then I found myself a few years after that, working with individuals and meeting individuals who were at a certain ceiling, whether it was in their professional career or in their own business, where they were ready to take that next leap into the executive role, right? And what that looked like. So my purpose is to take individuals on that journey and be supportive in that journey, because results are not just one-time results, right? We're living every day. And as we grow, our compass changes. And that's how that executive piece came into play. And while doing the executive coaching, that lended me the opportunity to also step in to do consulting in strategic development, organizational management, change management, leadership development within organizations. So it was like an organic growth, right? And again, as I coach, I'm coaching myself, right? I'm not uncoachable, right? So as I'm speaking, I'm listening to the things that I'm saying and realizing that, okay, I've achieved this result, but what's next, right? Because we're all in a place for growth.
Right. I love it. And when you were talking, it got me thinking, because especially for anyone in the helping field, you could be a coach, you could be an executive coach, a life coach. I mean, you could be a mentor, you could be a nurse, a doctor. I feel like at some point, it's not only just skill set. Of course, you build that over time, you're trained, but also it's an innate ability. And just to hear that, since you were younger, family, friends would always come to you for your objective opinion or advice or feedback. It's no surprise that it led you down this journey, and how you've grown from not only being a life coach, but an executive coach. You're working in corporate strategic planning. You spoke about all these things and how you've evolved, right? And the reason why I wanted to point that out, Dr. Shanna, is because, a lot of the millennials and Gen Xers these days, and I specifically wanted to speak to them because, a lot of times they think, and I'm a millennial too, so I will just say that, but, with my peers, that success is overnight. Right. And so, if I'm not at XYZ yet, if I'm not making that 6-figure salary a year yet, or I'm not, a manager yet, if I work a job, or, the processes that goes on, and the growth and the failure, and so for you, I want to pose that question. Because I do know you have practices both in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as New York, in Brooklyn. And what was that process like for you? Like how did you open up your first business, and then the second one, expand it to the second one? Like, what's that process if people are looking and listening and wanting to know the steps of, okay, I want to start my practice, I want to start a business, because I know that I have these skills and I'm great at it, I'm trained, I'm credentialed. How do I expand? How do I grow?
Right. So I think for me, growing and expanding came at a point in my life where the timing was right. And I'll say, sometimes you just know when. And when I made that transition, I've always maintained a practice in Brooklyn, New York. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And it was a point in time where I said, I don't want to do this space anymore, right? And being willing to take the risk to, a responsible risk, right? To just change my space and be okay with changing the space and understanding that for me in the work that I do, I get to do that along with other coaches really in a virtual space, right? So, for me, it was just trying to manage my growth in other place, looking at my network, because again, as I went on this journey, I'm building my network, right? I did not allow myself to stay stuck in one place. And I think, what a lot of people, not just millennials, just people in general, we must begin to feel comfortable being uncomfortable. Right?
Yes.
Because, when we have a vision, and again, it could be that Gen X or whomever, I want to be a manager. I will be a man. Okay, you will. You will. Trust you will. But what steps will you take to get there? Because again, it's steps. It's not overnight, it's not a step.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yes.
you have to be authentic and honest with oneself that I have to take the steps. And sometimes it's just even coaching individuals to think about how we were when we were children.
Yes.
We took steps to walk, we crawled, we rolled, and we was okay.
We bruised ourselves, we got right back up. Yeah.
On the ground. Okay, get up, roll around, stand up, fall down. We were okay with that. However, as we grew, we began to place so much value on, well, what happens when I fall? What happens if I fail? But our children are learning their steps, right? So, one thing I would say is again, and I've created my own success formula. I encourage people to create theirs, but for me, it's focus. What am I focused on, right? So focus plus discipline multiplied by perseverance, understanding that things will get in the way, but I choose to persevere. I choose to take those steps, right? I choose to take those steps with discipline. I can't do this right now, y'all. I can't go out tonight because I got to get up for work on time and early because I want to show up as my best self because I will be that manager. Right? So that's the discipline and that's the focus combined with it, right? So again, just understanding that it's a process. Don't control, sometimes we try to control the process, right? We say, hey, I will be the manager, I'm going to be this, but life takes us through mountains and valleys on purpose for a purpose, right? On purpose for a purpose. And we question why. Well, it's not for us to question why. We had to get to this place in order to get to that place.
Yeah, I love your answer for that because that's the common theme, especially if I may say in these Instagram streets, right? These social media streets, because you see a lot of people see celebrities, and half this stuff is not even real. It's fake. It's, facade. It's for show on Instagram, for instance, or all these other social media platforms. But I loved what you said, finding your own recipe that works.
Yes.
But I think that we can all adapt to what your recipe of or formula of the focus, the discipline, right? Perseverance. Yes. And all those things, because those are great recipe in order to attain whatever goal it is that people want to attain, whether that's climbing the corporate ladder or utilizing that skill from corporate and starting a side hustle and eventually working in side hustle full time, right? And so I think that is very important that you did mention that. I want to thank you for that. And so, which kind of leads me into a lead-on question, Dr. Shanna. Tell us, if you may, a time, and maybe it's significant or not, but a time that you had to face some sort of challenge or failure, and how have you kind of risen up or grown through that challenge?
So I would say, I think we all as individuals experience failure. And I think for me, it was similar to what we talked about before, right? I was in that space building my business, and I'm not thinking that it's going fast enough or the way that I wanted it to go. And I would say I was on maybe 200 miles an hour, just work, 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 focus, 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 the business, the business, the business, to the point in which I was neglecting myself, right? And see, that neglect of myself was a failure, because as a result, that lended itself to stress, right? Just stress and just being tired, right? And then, but in my mind, I'm placing this value on, I have to get the business up. I have to go to this event. I have to meet with these people. I have to. And then my own body just was like, no, you're done, right? And then placing value on the idea of not working so hard actually created more of a ripple effect of, and I won't say failure, but maybe downtime and of a challenge, because I was down for more time than I should have been if I just listened to my own body, right? So, again, that was a huge challenge for me. A challenge for me was getting to the place and space to manage my work and my life, right? And even now, some days I'm just sitting here just tapping away on the laptop. My husband will say enough, and I say one more thing. He said, nope, enough. But again, I've gotten to that place where I'm also able to listen to those who support me, to say, no, enough, you've done enough, it's okay, right? And sometimes we get into that place of beat up, where we beat ourselves up, which to me also, I define that as feeling. You're beating yourself up for what? For what? Right? So yeah, my biggest challenge, I think, in my life was the work-life balance. And then God has a way of shifting things, right? Because I have a 3-year-old, so that created even more balance. And it was his way of saying, yeah, no, you got this, and you got this, right? And you choose where you want to put that time in. So that was my biggest challenge.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I love how you were transparent and you brought that down, because so many people can relate. Even myself, I can relate to that. Sometimes it's like go, 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 and not knowing when to stop, especially when you're a visionary and you wanted things to be done a certain way. I mean,
Right.
And you spoke to the wellness aspect too. It takes longer to recover when you're burnt out, right?
Yes.
Instead of building in self-care time, rest time,
Yes.
because you recover faster, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Even now, it's like I'll schedule it. Everything for me, I schedule it. Whatever appointment, I schedule it. Even if it's, listen, I got to go to the nail salon, I schedule it to make sure I stop what I am doing and put that time in for me.
Yes.
Right? So,
and I believe that's very valuable, because life is happening, whether you're working in corporate or you're an entrepreneur, juggling both, have the kids, a caregiver, or going to school. I mean, there's so many things that we're all doing, right? And these days time seems very limited. So I think that the strategies or some of the tips that you've given that has helped you is universal, that we can all implement. And this is why Dr. Shanna is a executive business and life coach, because she does fit into any area of your life and or business that you are having a challenge with, so that she can provide you with the proper guidance and directions and tools and strategies to use to implement, to make changes, to make your life and or business better, right? And so Dr. Shanna, tell us a little bit more. What do you provide? I know you have your one-on-one clients. Do you have any groups? Do you have any programs? Like, tell us more about your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, so I do one-on-one coaching, of course. I do coach in groups, right? And that's more so done, of course, with, organizations or groups of individuals, no more than 4 to 6 individuals, right? And I also offer coaching programs. So a lot of my coaching programs are around living life in committed action. It's a 90-day journey where you identify maybe 3 areas of your life that you are perhaps stuck in, and we work together. This is one-on-one in a 90-day program to actually do that. At the business level, for my organizations that I work with, I provide customer service coaching, right? Because
Nice.
people want to grow their business. I provide being culturally responsive, right? A lot of businesses need support in that area. So I have a gambit of programs: strategic development, strategic planning, how to come in and do change management within your organization. And ultimately, in the business realm, since our world shifted and was impacted by COVID, it's really supporting businesses to become resilient. And how do we look at being innovative and strengthening our resiliency just in case, right?
Yeah.
This time it was COVID. Who knows what it'll be 5 years, 10 years from now, right? So, a lot of people go into business and open up businesses and aspire to be entrepreneurs to create a legacy, right? And when we think of creating a legacy, that's just not here today and gone tomorrow. So a lot of the work that I have done with businesses since COVID is really supporting them with being innovative. What does innovation look like? And what does it look like to maintain resiliency? Right? Because when we want to build a legacy, we must ensure that we are resilient during good times or bad times within our own economy. So, yeah.
So Dr. Shanna, it's so important that you said that. And I really want to pose this question because especially for our minority community, right? Specifically our Black men and women. You spoke about legacy, you spoke about definitely rest and recovery. Those things go hand in hand for resiliency, right?
Right.
But at the same time, we do want to empower and educate and inspire these Black men and women. We do want to empower and educate and inspire these Black men and women, especially when it comes on to building a legacy as it pertains to either owning a business, having other investments. Even if you're a professional man or woman, we're career women here too. But at the end of the day, how can we pass that on? And one of the things why I brought this up is because, especially what I've found in our Black community, we don't necessarily like to invest in coach and mentors.
Right.
But at the same time, when you look at the greats, whether it's great businessmen and women, celebrities, athletes, they have a team of people surrounding them, coaches and mentors for every single specific area that they want to be developed. And they're investing in them, and in turn they're helping these greats to thrive. And so why shouldn't we do the same? And so if you could speak to that, please.
Yeah, so you make a very valid point. And I think it really begins with just owning and accepting that you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. And the other piece to that is it's okay not to know, but then why choose to not get the support necessary to then know and learn, right? And based on everything you said, that's what I internalized by what you said. And I do think that it is important in our community, in our culture, where we begin to cultivate the mindset of having a coach or having that guidance or that mentor or that individual that's going to support you climb, right? And that's how I like to phrase it. You know, another phrase that I always say is I have a responsibility to lift as I climb. Who am I being if I'm climbing, but I'm not lifting others? But with that being said, you know, others who want that support also have to be willing and want to get that support. Again, I think, you know, and I work with organizations as well that support young people in understanding entrepreneurship from 7 years old and up, right? There are organizations out there, right, that do this work. And you know, for me, it's really tapping in and even providing resources to individuals who let's listen, some of us we are not going to get the coaching, and that's okay. But if we can begin to educate our young people and connecting them to the resources and organizations that will support them, that is us allowing our mindset to shift. And if it's not for us, but it's for them, the next generation that is going to come up. But you know, ultimately, I think, you know, as you made it so clear that people who are in a particular industry, they hire coaches to support them reach their next level, right? We need to begin to value who we are, right? And to understand that we matter, to then invest in ourselves to get us to that next place, and be okay with not knowing what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yes.
people who know what you want to know and people who can support you in getting to where you want to be, but you have to, you know, release your own self-judgment, right? Release your own ego to be willing to step into that space to say, I matter enough to get the knowledge that I need and support and coaching from someone who can get me to that next place.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, Dr. Shanna is dropping the gems, hashtag gems on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. And you know, I'm hiring a coach specifically yeah, such as Dr. Shanna definitely will shortcut, you know, your way to success, you know. And so you're not wasting time, you're not feeling frustrated, you know, not to
Right.
say challenges and failures won't come about, but at least you have a roadmap that's proven, proven to
Right.
happen.
And and you know what, and one thing I always say to my clients, listen, when we get to the point of clarifying your vision to achieve extraordinary results, the work is going to be hard. But you know what lessens it being hard? It is now your heart work. So your hard work has become your heart work because you're working in your vision. You are working towards that vision, walking in your purpose.
Mhm.
So the hard work is hard work once you clarify your vision to achieve extraordinary results.
Yes, yes. There we go. There we go. So, Dr. Shanna, share with the audience how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, absolutely. So you can contact Dr. Shanna at my website, www.drshannav.com. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Shanna V Coaching. On Instagram at Dr. SB Van Ness. On Twitter at SB Van Ness. And you can Google me, right? I am out there.
Yes, absolutely. And before I let you go, Dr. Shanna, please share with us, is there a routine or ritual, something that you do typically on, you know, each day to kind of keep you grounded? What is that thing?
Thing that I do every day is just a ritual is, you know, I wake up, I pray, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that I can see, touch, taste, and hear, right? I live in gratitude, understanding that I get to live in abundance in a world of reciprocity. You know, so I meditate on understanding that I get to choose to be my best self in every situation throughout the day.
Yes, Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so, guys, it's a pleasure again to have Dr. Shanna on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. Please, we would love to hear your comments. Definitely share and like this podcast with all of your friends, your family, anyone that you believe that would find value in all the tools and the gems that Dr. Shanna has shared with us. And remember, guys, always be good to yourself, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening. If you've loved this episode, let's stay in touch. Head over to raquelwalters.com and subscribe to my email list so that I can send you updates on new episodes, exclusive motivational nuggets, and insider knowledge that's only shared when you join our community. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review, as I want to know your thoughts about every episode. Follow me on Instagram at Your Purpose and Business Podcast. And remember, your life is beautiful, and this is a part of your journey. So embrace it. Speak to you soon.